So let's give a warm welcome, and I want y'all to, give a really, really warm welcome for our moderator, Miss Tiffany Cross. And we'll also bring out to the stage executive producer and the FAMU grad, Mr. Will Packer. Give a round of applause, guys. We're gonna bring out our showrunner and executive producer and creator, Shaye Ogbonna. Come on out, Shaye. And please give the Howard graduate, Miss Taraji P. Henson, a round of applause, y'all. Hey, you. All right, last but not least, Mr. Don Cheadle, y'all. Come on, Don. And please show her some love, Miss Chloe Bailey. All right. Do your thing.
Hi, everybody. I'm so excited about this series. Was that not the dopest closing scene where y'all clutching like, what is about to happen? When they cocked the gun, I'm so excited. So I have to tell y'all, I saw episode 1 and 2. I won't tell you what happens in 2, but we do meet Miss Chloe Bailey in episode number 2. So stay tuned. All right, I got a lot of questions, but first I want to ask the audience a question. Is Atlanta in the house anywhere?
Oh, yeah.
A-Town down, baby. Marietta, where it's better. Decatur, where it's greater out there. Anybody? All right.
East Point.
I love that this is a series centered in my hometown, number 1. So we thank you for that. Before I get to the cast, I know the audience got to hear a lot about your career earlier, but I do have to ask you, there does seem to be a shift from like film. People are now doing these limited series where people might complain a show is, a film is 2.5 hours is long, but we'll binge watch on the couch an 8-hour limited series and feel accomplished afterwards. Like, yes, I got through. What do you think about that shift, and what made you do this as a limited series and not as a film?
As a producer, I love it. I love it because you have so much more room, license, and breadth to tell the stories, to get into these characters, right? I told you guys earlier that the heist and the Muhammad Ali fight is just our entry point. You see that now. You see where we end in the pilot. It goes there. It goes into a very complex web of characters and narratives that we could not have done in a movie. I spoke earlier about how initially we tried to make this as a movie. I'm so glad. How many of y'all know sometimes God knows way better than us, right? Because
all the time.
I thought that I wanted to do it that way, but this was the way to do it because now I've got so much room to incorporate these amazing actors and these incredible characters that Shaye created. And so I could not have done that without it being a limited series. And that's also the medium now where the best actors are working. So when I put in those calls and had those conversations with a cast at this level, they didn't shirk at saying a limited series. It was like, let's talk about it. What's it about? Let's get into it. It used to be that, a mini series, as it used to be called, was looked down upon, right? Not anymore. Some of the best people working in television are doing work like this.
Yeah, it's amazing how things shift in entertainment. I gotta ask Miss Taraji, definitely earned it, Henson, who, y'all already shout out HU. I have to tell you, I told Will this when I was watching. When I watched it, I didn't see Shug Avery. I did not see Taraji Henson. I only saw Vivian. I really felt like I was eavesdropping on this scene that speaks to your talent. You become the characters you play. Talk to us about what it was like bringing Vivian to life, and what parts of your own personal experience did you bring to this character?
Vivian, oh God. Okay, so whenever I get these ballsy women, these characters, I know why I'm being tapped. I mean, I know you tapped me for all the reasons why you did, but sometimes I get tapped because of the cookie sensation. So for me, it's about, I gotta fall way away from who she is. And I know people are in love with her or whatever, but been there, did it, done that. So I'm always, when I spoke to Craig, I was like, we got to make sure it's not, we can't do any cookieisms, The difference between her, so I always get into the differences, like what makes her very different from a woman like that who has sort of kind of the same strength qualities, unapologetically themselves. She's more grounded. She was way more grounded. She was Chicken Man's backbone, his foundation. She was the business sense. So that's how I try to keep the characters from bleeding and feeling like the same, is always finding what makes this character very different from any other character that I've ever portrayed. If the character seems like it's leaning too close to something that I've already done, then it's somebody else's blessing.
Yeah. I love that. And what I love? Just the blackness of this show. It's nice to see characters where we have depth. You don't smack us across the head with the storyline. We're allowed to breathe and have a background and understand. And there's a character in the film that does not have a single line, and that is, of course, the city of Atlanta. Shaye, your hometown as well. Shaye from the SWATs, y'all, so A-Town down. Talk to us. First of all, did you even know about this heist?
Had no idea.
Me either. I had no clue. So
Yeah, I'm not embarrassed about that either. I feel like a lot of people, well, the funny thing is I didn't know a lot about it, but let me get your question out. You want to ask a question?
no,
Sorry.
go ahead.
Okay. But yeah, like a lot of, I didn't know about it, but the generation above me, aunts, uncles, everybody knew about it. And that was again, it's a testament, I think, to a lot of these localized African-American stories. They're told orally, you know what I mean? You don't see them in a book. You don't see him in a movie until we get the power to do it. And so for me, it was an opportunity to tell, first of all, I wasn't surprised, to hear the story of this one fight and what happened, because it's the most Atlanta thing ever. We have a party and then somebody, gets robbed. So it was oh yeah, this is great. And so for me, it was just an opportunity to tell that story from a very kind of humanistic perspective.
Well, you did a great job at it. We get to meet Miss Chloe Bailey in episode 2. So September 5th, you all will see Chloe Bailey's character. Chloe, talk to us about your experience. It was wonderful to see you bring the waitress character, which you all will meet, to life. And there was nuance to her character as well. Talk to us what it was like for you joining this cast of heavyweights and bringing your own tapped talent.
Yes, well, I have always loved and admired working with Will, and to have this opportunity come to fruition was really, really cool. I'm an Atlanta native, and I had never heard of this heist story. And then to hear that I get to work alongside Taraji and Don and Samuel and, the most incredible actors in the game, it meant so much to me. I am still learning so much, so to be able to share the screen with you, and there was such beautiful advice that you told me, and I don't even think you remember how much it impacted me. You were like, don't let anyone block your light. So I will never forget that, not only within the acting world, but also figuratively. So it was truly such a blessing. I was happy to bring Lena to the screen, and I can't wait for you all to meet her.
She does a great job, incredible job.
Facts.
Don, your character, first of all, I love you. Yeah. I got to give you your flowers, Don, just because we're at this moment in American history. And I just have to say, while we're in front of this audience, we love you not only for the talent you bring to the screen, but for the conviction in your beliefs that you fight for and have fought for when it wasn't popular to do. You continue to do it. And you wear that crown beautifully. So we thank you for your advocacy work. And also, as an actor playing a police officer, I understood this character and some of the undertones of resentment towards Muhammad Ali. And that's a very nuanced thing to bring to the screen. How did you navigate that?
Well, with Shaye and Will, really, and Craig, that was something that we talked about every day and always carefully tracked, because he is a pariah in some ways in the neighborhood, but to other people in the neighborhood, he's a hero. It's something that, our future president talks about, is that, to say that black people don't want law enforcement too, it's kind of a myth that we don't also want safety and security for our families. And, we don't want law enforcement that's, unjust and is, working at odds with our community. But we want to be protected and safe in our streets too. So I think JD's trying to walk a line, and he's trying to, in some ways do the impossible, which is deal with this racist, police department that he's dealing with, and then go into the community and try to actually figure out a way to be both a servant, but also someone who has to sometimes put his foot down. And I think he was really in a thankless position, but I think the character is written very well, and something that, like I said, Shaye and Will and Craig and I talked about a lot. Like, who is this guy? What makes him tick? What's the line? What can he get away with? When don't we like him? When do we like him? When do we cheer for him? When do we think he's a sellout? I think all of that, it's all there in the character, and I think that's a testament to the writing for sure.
A testament to the writing and a testament to the acting. Go ahead,
No
Will.
question. It was elevated based on what was on the page, and that's something that I will say Don Cheadle took so seriously to make sure that this character had the nuance, the levels, that you were able to come in and see this as somebody who was perceived at that time as being part of a system that was not working for us. But he needed to be an entry point. Don spent a lot of time, and I want to just say this because, he won't, but I'll tell you, Shaye can vouch for this. He spent a lot of time working on that character, and there's things that you will see throughout the course of the season to make sure that he's an entry point. Like, that was black men, a lot of people that were working within a system that was designed against them. But if we didn't have a Detective J.D. Hudson, we'd have nobody in that system, right? We would have nobody that would be there to advocate for whatever happens in this series. We needed him inside that. We needed him, on that wall, so to speak. So that's something that Don took a lot of time and pride in making sure that he had in that character. And he and Taraji have referenced Craig. And just to be clear, they're talking about Craig Brewer. And Craig Brewer was he directed several episodes. He directed this pilot. You all know him from Hustle and Flow and Dolomite, Memphis, Tennessee's own. So he was an important part of this as well.
Speaking on Craig real quick, what he brought to this was he's a Southerner, just like I am, and it was very important to us. There's a pride with that. Obviously, there's complication with that, but for us, it was very important. And it was important for me, if I could, to try to have somebody involved creatively from a directing standpoint that understand his story from a Southern perspective, because we are telling an American story, but we're also telling, there's elements of it that are very much Southern, and we wanted to, for me, what's important, being from Atlanta, is, my family's got to be able to walk through Atlanta after this, you know what I mean? If I'm, not treating Atlanta right, if I'm speaking on Atlanta wrongly, that's not something I want to do. So It was very important to me that we check off all those boxes.
Yeah, even the exterior shots, like the houses, was a quintessential Atlanta house. Will, I want to come back to you because you mentioned several films, like Hustle and Flow, I think is another amazing film that starred, of course, our lovely Taraji Henson. I think, yes, please. That's where we learned she was not only an amazing actress, but a songstress as well. So shout out to Taraji. But Will, I think it's something beautiful that happens, and I'm gonna just keep it a buck because we amongst family. But when white people get out the way and let black people create, don't try to tell me what a black character should sound like. Don't try to tell me what black neighborhoods should look like. We know us, and that happens in every capacity, from consultants who don't look like you coming to tell you what people who do look like you like. You are quintessential true. Your success in your career has been centered on that of black folks. Talk to us about the creative process and the diversity of the crew and the other people who made this happen, and why it was so important to maintain the authenticity, that there was people who were from the neighborhood, people who looked like us who were a part of this.
Yeah, listen, the important thing, and this is not something exclusive to Hollywood, no matter what industry you're in or what you're doing, if you want to have an authentic perspective, you want to have authentic processes, you need to have authentic voices. You need to make sure that you have got a diversity of voices in whatever room it is that's appropriate. In this, it's the writer's room. It is the director's room. It is the, along with my producers. this crew, I'm so proud. I've been, making movies for a long time. You walk on a Will Packer set, you're going to know you're on a Will Packer set. I'm very, very proud of that. You see the diversity. This set, even for me, I mean, this looked like Circuit Ave at the Vineyard. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm gonna just tell y'all. I'm talking about my DPs. I'm talking about my line producers. I'm talking about, my glam squads. I'm talking about production designers. I mean, this top to bottom, I was very, very proud of the team that we put together. And that makes me smart for making sure that I'm putting the right people. So I didn't go out and get subpar people to do it, right? And some people have you believe that, if you're doing DEI, then you must be, missing something. You must be lowering the bar in order to do it. And I'm going, no, you know what? Not only am I not lowering the bar, but I'm going to beat you who does not have a diversity of perspective around you, because you got a monolith happening over there. I have people from all walks of life, and I was very proud of doing that with this. And it was just good to walk on set and see, I mean, it looked like us. It looked like this room. I was and I had the best in the business, too.
Yeah. I love that. I have to give you your flowers as well, Taraji, because I know you spoke a lot about black women in Hollywood, but my sister, that can transfer to black women everywhere, feeling unvalued, undervalued, unappreciated. So you spoke for all of us, and all of us in this audience, we might not know you, but we know you. So when we heard you speak, we appreciated it. Talk to me about what it was like, specifically as a creator. Like when you go on set and somebody don't know how to do your hair or makeup, it's hard to bring a character to life. So in all the projects you've worked on, what was it like to go to a set and feel like home?
Well, I've worked my ass off to be able to call whoever I need for what I need on set. So whenever I'm being hired, I'm bringing my team, because in order for me to step into this character, I don't need to be worried about you and my hair and my makeup and my wardrobe. I need, like Will said, you get the people in the positions who are good at what they do, and that way I can just walk right into this character and I don't have to worry about all the other things. That's heavy on an actor, and it gets in the way of our work. If I get in that makeup chair and I have to be watching the makeup artist every move, and what are you doing? You spraying wet stuff on my roots, girl? They gonna swell, which has happened before. Went in there with straight hair, came out with an afro. But so all of that is important, and sometimes, as black women in the industry for so long, we would get labeled difficult for trying to speak up for ourselves. But it's not difficult. I just need what I need to do the job that you paid me to do. So give me what I need. And just years and years of just standing up for myself, this is where we are. And you can't hire me unless I have my people. Yeah. Because I'm not gonna be uncomfortable, because if I'm uncomfortable, I'm not servicing the role. Because I'm in my head, I'm in the way. Yeah. So it all has a meaning. It all is purposeful.
Yeah. Well, you were a part of normalizing a lot of black women getting what we need. Don, I'm going to depend on you to give us some BTS.
Uh-oh.
What was...
BTS is behind the scenes.
Yes.
So she wants me to spill the tea. Go ahead.
Give us some tea. Like, what was going on set? Give us,
had no tea on me. We had no scenes together.
Keep it clean, Cheadle.
My name out your mouth.
See, now everybody's scared. Everybody got scared. Everybody got scared. Don, don't tell that story.
Give us a story they don't want you to tell. What was going on behind the scenes?
No, I mean, look, what was great about the show is that everybody was really about showing up and protecting, and I use that word in the right way, protecting their characters, protecting the story. It was important for everyone to show up for each other and to try to do this the right way. We're like, we have something special, and it's ours to mess up. So you want to make sure that you don't mess it up. And like I said, I'm very fortunate to have worked with Taraji before. I've worked with Kevin before, Terrence before, Sam before, Chloe I just met. But it was great to see everybody again and to look across the room and go, we have a history, we have a working relationship, we have an understanding, and everybody else too. I mean, all the other cast members everybody knew that we had something important to do, and I don't mean like it's important like medicine, but it was important that we got the story right so that Shaye could walk around Atlanta and not get jumped. So we
They won't get jumped.
we really showed up, and I think it was a very hard show. I think it was very difficult. It was very tedious, a lot of long hours, and there's no way that you can get through that and do that unless you have, a team around you that's willing to roll up their sleeves and get in the dirt with you, and we definitely had that.
So there was no rap party at Magic City and the Lemon Pepper Wings at 3 a.m, nothing like that. I heard some throat clearing.
Where's my wife?
What's Magic City? I don't.
Yeah. What's a Magic City?
When the whole couch got quiet. Tiffany touched the nerve. Tiffany, these the Vineyard folks. These people. It's the
Every
highfalutin
Will
crowd.
Packer movie you work on in Atlanta, you will end up eating chicken wings at a place that's magical in the city.
A magical place in the city.
Listen. I have to take care of my actors, okay? Actors, actresses, everybody is to make sure they have a
Everybody
good time.
goes there. It's no thing in Atlanta,
I just
right?
want to say, for me, I'm going back to business. For me, it was
Thank
very. For me, what I found refreshing is that I've done a lot of movies in Atlanta where Atlanta was used for another city. So it was so refreshing to not have to be like, hide that building. Don't show that building because we're not supposed to be in Atlanta. So it just felt really authentic for once in my career to actually be in Atlanta and use Atlanta as a character. That was pretty refreshing for me.
And something that Taraji touched on, she's absolutely right. That was so intentional. But what was tricky, like Don talked about it being a tough shoot, period pieces are hard, right? And audiences today are so particular, right? You got to be authentic because y'all catch everything, right? Y'all know. Y'all like, that is not the coffee cup they had back in the day. No, that is not how grandma's refrigerator looked. No, Give me the set top with the little TV on top of it. You better make it authentic. We had to make sure, and what was interesting was that we were shooting, and we found a lot of locations that actually still had a similar look. And Sam Jackson commented on this because he, of course, is from Atlanta. He was there during this time. He knew the story. And we found neighborhoods that were almost like trapped in time. That still had that same texture and feel for what we were going for as a period piece. That's one of the biggest challenges on a project like this.
Yeah, I noticed that with the wood panel in the house, the sofa. We all grew up in homes with plastic cover on the sofa.
Yes. Oh, yes.
I walked to so many houses where I was like, this is my Aunt Hazel's house.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. I think it's so important. A lot, you make these projects, and it really depends on audiences like this to watch it, share it, talk about it, because it allows you the opportunity, Will, to keep making these amazing films and all the amazing art that you've given us, so many cult classics, lines that we will say because you gave them to us. What does it mean for an audience like this? What is our ask of the audience like this to not just watch it, but how can we help? Because you've been so supportive to so many of us. I have a testimony, a lot of people have a testimony about Will. What can we do beyond just tuning in on September 5th? What is the ask of this audience?
Well, I had a little chat with my homies. This is my folks right here. This is my crowd. So before y'all came out, we had a little chat, and we talked about the power that audiences have. And we don't realize our power often, right? And this ties in, Don alluded to our upcoming election. We got the power, y'all. Literally, we got the power. We will decide the future of this country and the future of democracy. I'm going to go off tangent another time real quick. The person who put the spotlight on the fact that there was a full conservative agenda named Project 2025 was Miss Taraji P. Henson at that BET Awards. Nobody was talking about that nationally on a national platform. That's how you use your power.
Yes.
Yes. That's Glenn Turman with that badass hat on, Taraji, right there, just so you know.
That's Colonel Taylor in the audience.
But so we have the power, right? And so, of course, we want you guys to see it, and we hope that you enjoyed it, and we hope that you will watch the remainder of the series. But you got the power, right? It is up to you. Hollywood responds to you. They will continue to make the things that you show up and show out for and talk about. And you know how we are when we get revved up about something and how important, persuasive we are, how loud we are. And so, yes, with all my projects, the only reason I sit on this stage is because I have had people that have come out, and also another thing I'm unashamed about, it has been black women, no doubt, who have absolutely, no question, have been the core supporters of my projects from day one. And when y'all stand up and say, this is what we doing, and when y'all do it as a unit, it is powerful, and it cannot be ignored. So, listen, this is a project. It's a piece of content, not nearly as important as some of the other stuff that's happening out there in the world, but we hope that it is entertaining, and we hope that you do hear the message about what it was like in Atlanta, to be black, to have a dream, to hustle, right? We hope that you learn about a story that maybe you never heard of. We were talking backstage that if this was a story that about people that didn't look like us, you might have already heard this. This is one of the biggest heists that happened in American history, the biggest in the state of Georgia. I had never heard of it, but a lot of times when you have folks that look like us, those things are marginalized. Yeah. So one other thing real quick, there's another actress that's in the room who is a supporting actress who's in a later episode. Her name's Dominique Madison. Dominique, are you here? Stand up just so we can give you your love. Right there. See y'all right there, y'all?
Hey, Dom.
Yes. Yes. Another talented fight night actress. So good to see you, lady.
I just want to piggyback on what you were saying. That's what we really need to understand is the power of our dollar. Because that's really what this is about. How black people migrating and moving down to, chasing their dreams, change the economical course in Atlanta. We did that. So imagine what we would really do if we really pulled together. That's what I hope you get out of this, the power that we have in togetherness.
No, you finish.
Nope. You got to say it now.
I was just going to talk about Taraji's shoes, but you should finish it.
Dude, you see these shoes? Do y'all see these shoes? I am so glad I ain't wearing mine.
Don't you say nothing smart, because they hurt.
They're beautiful.
It's my steel toe.
I don't want no problems.
We know you
No
kick up shit, girl. Don't nobody want no problems with Taraji.
Well, I want to tell you all, it is a very serious time in the country. We all know that we have survived 400 years in this place, and a part of the reason we survive is because black joy is defiance. And you have given us black joy, all of you all on screen, on film, on records. And so we thank you all, and it is our pleasure, our honor, and our responsibility to uplift the work that you do. Fight Night, Peacock, September 5th is when it premieres. Post about it, write about it, share it, tell your friends, drop it in your group chat. Make
Tiffany
sure
Cross, ladies and gentlemen, thank you, Tiffany.
Thank you, Will.
If you like it, spread the word. If you enjoyed it, tell somebody. And if you didn't like the movie, keep it to your damn self. Thank you, everybody.